Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. What's up? It's your man, Moray DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. Elephant Man on IG, Elephant Man _podcast, and on Facebook /Elephant Man Podcast. That is growing on Facebook. Shalom, shalom. Blessings to all. Blessings. Yes. Blessings. Shalom, blessings. Shalom to you, Cindy Carr. Shalom. Cam 2 player. Shalom and shalom to you. Blessings. Pick VA. Yes, sir. All right. We're going to see what's going on with that. Hopefully that's not a troll. Blessings to everybody. I wanted to be able to show this little video about laboratory food. Is laboratory food the future? Angela Bowden, blessings to you. Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Is that the future? You know, we going around and we're doing a Master Guard and the Junior Master Guard and then trying to give our kids a life skill of growing fresh fruits and vegetables and produce and different things like that. But they got this new thing that was going on, and I'm just interested. I want you guys to see this little video real quick and let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you share with somebody. Let's go right to this video, and then I want to get what you got to say about it. So let's get this video up and rolling, and let's see what's going on with it.
Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma.
Time for Learning is an award-winning online curriculum for pre-K through 12 that combines the technology kids love.
In there.
Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. How was your Diwali weekend? I hope you had a great time. And I have a question for you. What did you eat this Diwali? The regular laddus? Or did you try something new? What if I told you that in a not too distant future, farms near you may stop growing the wheat needed to make those laddus? What if I told you that farms may also stop growing rice? There may be no animal farms, no milk, no meat or eggs. You may also not be able to eat the fresh catch of the day from the oceans. So what will you eat? In a not too distant future, you and I will be eating lab-grown food grown in laboratories and factories. And I know you have a lot of questions. I do too. For starters, why do we need lab foods? What's the problem with the regular food we're eating? Will lab food even taste the same? Will it be good for our health? How will food be made in labs? And exactly how long into the future are we talking about? Will we then stop farming altogether? We'll try to answer all of these questions. Let me start by showing you some numbers. You see this? This is how fast our world's population is growing. Currently, there are 7.8 billion people living on this planet. Our population has tripled in 70 years. Not too long ago, in 1990, there were 5.3 billion of us. In 2015, the number jumped to 7.3 billion. By 2030, we will be 8.5 billion. By 2050, 9.7 billion. 9.7 billion. That's how many mouths we'll have to feed in less than 30 years from now. Demand for food will be up 60%. And we'll have to produce 50% more food to ensure everyone gets their meals. Currently, the world produces enough food to feed everyone on this planet, but the fact is fancy only on paper. The reality is over 821 million people go hungry to bed every day. That's 2.5 times the population of the United States going hungry every day. Every 10 seconds, a child dies from hunger. The food never makes it to her plate. Nearly 3.1 million children die of hunger-related causes every year. More than 99 million children under the age of 5 are undernourished and underweight. Some estimates say that we're already producing enough food to feed 10 billion people. But what's the use of it if we can't even feed the current population? What will we do when we have 10 billion mouths to feed? Well, here's where lab foods come in. They can be made quickly and literally anywhere on Earth. Here's a question. Why turn to lab food at all? Why not try to ensure that farm food reaches every plate? You see, farm food is not sustainable. One, it is subject to climate risk. Every weather event affects our crops. When there is a drought, our crops fail. When it rains too much, our crops rot. There was a heat wave in California earlier this year, and now prices of canned tomatoes in the US are soaring. That's because California produces 90% of canned tomatoes in the US.
What's up, Chicago? It's Zach Bull from WGCI, and I want you to check out the all-new Chevy Silverado HD, man. Go check them out at your local Chevy dealer. Order one, get a test drive at ChevyDriveChicago.com.
There was drought and freezing weather in Brazil, and now coffee prices are rising the world over. So you get what I'm trying to say. Every time there's an extreme weather condition in Maharashtra, our onions cost more. We've all dealt with this. Point number 2, farming has an environmental cost. It pollutes the water, the air, it takes away forest land, animal habitat, and the much needed buffer between us and the animal kingdom. Number 3, animal farming is cruel. Let's face it, no matter how much we love nuggets, wings, and bacon, we've got to agree that killing animals for our food comes with a serving of moral hiccups. Did you know 70 billion animals are killed each year just so that we can continue enjoying our roasts and steaks? Our demand for meat will soon outpace the supply of cows, pigs, and chicken. What about crops? Do we want to continue exposing them to extreme weather and locust attacks? The question actually is not whether we want to, it is whether we can afford to. Can we afford to continue relying on conventional farming? Scientists say traditional agriculture will collapse in the next 2 to 3 decades because of climate change. So what do we do? Turn to lab food, perhaps. You can also call it farm-free food. How is it made? By cell culturing. Consider chicken. When farmed conventionally, chicken is caged, injected with hormones, fed unnatural food. The poor hen never sees a blade of grass or the light of the day and goes on to be culled. Now, here's what happens when chicken is grown in a lab. Step 1, a muscle stem cell is extracted from a chicken. Step 2, it is then split into pieces. Step 3, the sample is immersed in a bioreactor full of broth. The broth has sugar, salts, proteins, and vitamins. Step 4, the broth is kept in an oxygen-rich environment under regulated temperature. And voila, you have chicken ready in just 2 weeks. What's more, the process requires less water and less land. The jury, however, is still out on carbon emission. Experts say factories producing lab-grown meat must run on renewable energy if they want to leave a smaller carbon footprint compared to animal farming. As we speak, meat is not the only product being made in labs. There's coffee, lab-grown dairy, flour. A lot of this, of course, is under trial and will need regulatory approval before they can reach the market. Lab-grown meat has already reached the market. Singapore has become the first country to approve it. Do consumers approve of it? Does lab-grown food taste the same as farm food? Well, if made well, we're told it does. The world's first artificial beef burger was created in 2013. They said the meat was dry and dense, so scientists worked on it and tried to mimic the taste, smell, and texture of traditional meat. Today, a lab-grown burger patty is very similar to a normal patty. Next question, is it safe? The meat made in a lab won't have the bacteria that contaminate conventional meat. But all of this does not mean that lab food is going to be 100% safe. Some experts are concerned about the hormones used to grow lab food. We still don't know how overexposure to these hormones will affect our health. Next question, will lab-grown food have enough nutrients? Well, this is where it takes the cake. First of all, it is highly customizable. And by that, I mean the nutrient profile of food grown in a lab can be controlled. Let's again consider the example of meat. Too much consumption of red meat is not good for us. We all know this. It has been linked to heart diseases and diabetes. Why? Because red meat is high on saturated fat. But while growing red meat in a lab, scientists can adjust fat levels. They can also replace saturated fat with, say, omega-3, which is normally found in fish or flax seeds. So lab food will make it possible for you to eat steak with the goodness of seafood. Food grown on conventional farms, on the other hand, will soon run out of nutrients. A Harvard research shows that staple crops, when exposed to levels of carbon dioxide predicted for 2050, will lose up to 10% of their zinc, 5% of their iron, and 8% of their protein. So lab food will undoubtedly be a healthier alternative. Let's now talk money. How much will lab-grown food cost us? The answer to that depends on when you buy it. The 2013 hamburger was priced at $325,000. Today, a hamburger made of lab-grown meat costs nearly $11. That's down 30,000 times. Lab-grown food has already become cheaper. The trend is likely to continue going forward. Experts say in future, natural chicken will cost more than lab-grown chicken. Final question. How far into the future are we talking about? Lab-grown meat is already in the market, also lab-grown meat alternatives. Estimates say that by 2040, 30% of meat consumed will be lab-based. This is what the picture will look like less than 20 years from now. Lab food could help feed 10 billion people. A single muscle stem will be able to make enough meat for 80,000 hamburgers. So from where I'm sitting, lab-grown food looks like the future. But a lot needs to be done to make sure that this future is sustainable. First, we need to address the question of overexposure to hormones. We also need to guarantee that food labs will not use non-renewable energy. Here's something else. Millions need to consider alternative livelihood. Think about this. What will happen to those employed in the farming, animal husbandry, or dairy industry? Governments will have to deliberate for farm-free food to become the future. The world will need to make difficult economic changes, difficult livelihood changes, and lifestyle changes. Well, will all of this be worth it? The story, we say, is still cooking.
Wow. Wow. Boy, a mouthful. A mouthful. I had to write down a lot of that stuff. Wow, man. What? You know, it's real wild, man. It's real wild. What do you guys think in the comments? That's amazing. I just can't believe it. Farm-free food is what they're trying to push. Now they're saying this: 7.8 billion people on the planet, and we can feed those people now with what we got. But way down the line, 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be 10 billion people on the planet, and we're not going to be able to sustain these people. So what we need to do is go into a lab and grow our food. And then they came up with these different reasons why. I like what you said, Ruhama, when you said, shout out to everybody in the chat. You said that she seemed biased. Yeah, because it was a lot of things that she said that was pushing towards this lab-grown food. Okay? So they was basically saying, stop growing wheat, stop growing rice, stop growing dairy, stop growing chicken, stop growing beef, right? And all of that stuff. And they were saying 820 million people go hungry every night, right? And every 10 seconds, a child die of hunger. So they put all of this stuff out there. And so these are the reasons that they're saying. They say it's not sustainable because the crops can be susceptible to drought and flooding and different things like that. They can be destroyed. All right? Then they're saying environmental costs. I don't know what's going on with that. Then they say animal farming is cruel. Now, some people don't even eat meat, and some people are vegans. They don't eat meat. So they're basically saying if you grow an animal in a lab, then you're not really harming the animal. I don't understand the logic in that. Then they're saying, is it safe? They're saying it's safe than the meat that's being butchered and processed right now because you won't have E. coli or salmonella. You know, those are things that can be combated with the right temperature, whether hot or cold, or farm-raised animals in the right temperature. But she said, as far as the hormones, just look at what the hormones is doing to people who just eat regular farm-raised chickens and beef and different things like that, right? The hormones, when you eat it, it goes into your body, right? That's why 12, 13, 14-year-old girls looking more developed because of the hormones of the food that we eat. But we still don't know what's going to go on with the lab-produced hormones, right? Right? We don't know exactly what's going on. Now, this is crazy, the language that they're using. Traditional farming will collapse. I'm going to read the scripture. It's Genesis 8:22. All right? Genesis 8:22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest time, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Right? That is from Genesis 8 and 22. So basically, the Most High is saying, as long as the earth remains, there will always be seed to grow food. There will always, and I understand they say in climate change and all of this stuff, but he said there's always seed to grow food. When you go get a tomato or bell pepper or a cucumber or a squash, what's in the middle if it's not seedless? It's seeds. And those seeds can make more fruits and vegetables and more fruits and vegetables and more. And that's the way seed time and harvest time will always be. 1. 2, the scripture says, my Yah shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory in Yahushua HaMashiach. So the Most High thought this out already. This planet, in my opinion, if we get to 10 billion people, can sustain 10 billion people. Or he wouldn't have 10 billion people on the planet. See, this is the problem with people trying to have a God complex and saying trust science and want you to trust science over the Most High. I think science and the Most High can coexist, but science don't trump the Most High, right? Science points to the Most High, right? So if we get to a point of 10 billion people, it can sustain 10 billion people. And I'm going to tell you like this, folks. My goal is to go commercial with food and produce. I'm not even on a commercial scale. I'm not even full time. And I'm going to tell you, I have to repent every time. I have produce sometimes going bad because we can't, the way it grows, the way the seed and harvest comes, we don't get a chance to consume it quick enough. We can't get this stuff away quick enough. And that's me part-time, one person, part-time, not even doing it full-time, right? Now just think of blocks. They don't want us to talk like this. Blocks, neighborhoods, urban farms, urban gardens will get serious about it and get the seeds and start getting these hoop houses and getting all these things. They would be, I'm telling you guys, they would be able to feed the nations, hands down, with no problem. I'm telling you, hands down. It shouldn't be nobody going to bed hungry, especially the United Snakes of America. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I'm going to lose some subscribers off of that. There should nobody go to bed hungry in the United States of America at all. Nobody should be going to bed hungry, right? We got food going bad, right? We got stuff just, yes, we need more community and backyard garden. Angela Bowden, you hit it right on the head, is what I'm saying. And all I'm telling you guys is we got to get growing. We got to get to growing something. Oh, I'm not a green thumb. Oh, this, that, and other. Grow something, right? Keep trying. Keep growing, right? We're going to build a network, and we're going to start growing some food, right? And it's so we don't have to go with all of this stuff. They're talking about traditional farming will collapse within the next 2 to 3 decades. How and why? How and why? If it's not systematic, it's no way possible. Now, I want to tell y'all something, but they go, oh, that's conspiracy theory. Man, they say, man, they have food shipped over on containers, on barges and stuff, and they tell them not to unload them, man. Don't unload the food. Telling farmers to destroy their crops, and they still get paid for their crops. So some farmers are they growing, that's their living, right? Let's just say, for instance, a farmer makes $30,000 off his crop. I'm just giving a wild number, right? And the government said, we need you to destroy your crop. We'll give you $40,000. People don't think that happens. Fair use. People don't think that stuff happens. People think it's a conspiracy theory, and I'm telling you, this stuff is systematic, man. So we got to pray and focus on the Most High. All right. They said by the year 2040, 30% of the meat will be lab-based. 30% of the meat will be grown in lab. Again, we don't know the side effects of the hormone. And this goes back to the show on alternative medicine. Fair use, fair use. Do not remove this show off my platform. Alternative medicine, at first they used to have different weeds and herbs and medicinal plants growing in the wild, mullein, you name it, right? Dandelion, right? Lamb's quarter, the whole nine, right? And you know, if y'all see the show about the medical apartheid and the different things like that, how it systematically went from plant-based to petroleum-based products, right? And so we can all get on the petroleum-based products, right? And they demonize the plant-based products, right? You know, we come from the dirt. Our shell does, not our spirit, but you know, from the, you know, that's why they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Our shell come from the terra firma, right? And so they have different plants, herbs, different things that's grown naturally to help us out with our remedies. Well, when they switch to petroleum-based products, and I know this show is not about that, when they spit to petroleum-based products, then we start getting ill, we start getting cancers, we start all these different things start happening, right? That on top of eating a lot of processed foods, right? Because both the male and the female had to work, you know, and so it wasn't a lot of home cooked meals, fresh home cooked meals, you know, casseroles and different things like that. So it had to be some quick meals, quick processed foods, and then the fast food boom, and then bam, now we are where we are with the high blood pressure, with the sugar, with the diabetes, with all these different things that's going on in our community now. Is because of the poor diet choices, because we got to get going. You know, it's easier 99-cent sandwich versus a home cooked meal. You know what I'm saying? Some greens versus a Big Mac. You know, you get some greens with some smoked turkey neck if you eat meat, and some cornbread and some Great Northern beans versus a Big Mac. If you tell me what tastes better. All right. But anyway, I'm going back to this. So I think the main thing that's going on with it is that, like, alternative medicine, they're going to try to go with alternative food. And it's really not a problem. They're using this language right now so we can get used to it. And they say global warming, and it's population control, and we got all of this carbon on the planet, and we're tearing our planet. We just love the planet so much, right? We love dangerous species, and special brown-eyed hawk is endangered and all this stuff. But people, we are killed in an instant. That is demonic and that is satanic. That's terrible. So these reasons are not a good reason to stop growing food. I'm going to come and fix me a plate right now. Hey, man, he said he's going to fix me a plate right now. I'm getting hungry too, man. I'm getting hungry too. Yeah, fear-mongering. You're right, fear-mongering. Fear-mongering. So we got to keep our eyes on the Most High Yah. We can't get caught up on the fear-mongering, man. So I don't think it's going to be, when they say a shortage and it's different things like that. I got a show coming up too, and also Teo and them. Shout out to Teo. They had a show on the different droughts and energy crisis. But I got an energy crisis show that's coming up. We don't know if it's systematic or if this is really happening. You know what I mean? But I'm saying I'm growing yarrow. I got yarrow seeds. We're going to have a panel on here. We're going to have the people come on, and we're going to talk about different things. Beets. I grew beets and found out that they are quite tasty in the raw form. They're also good for blood pressure, right? High blood pressure. So we used to take beets and put them in a juicer and add celery and add some other things, and they would help out. They would help out, a lot. They're fresh, or you can get them in peel form too. Get them in powdered peel form too. So we got to start taking care of ourselves and be cognizant of what we put in our bodies. What do you guys think about the lab food? It's not that serious. Lab food is not that serious to me. And I know they're gonna think I'm going against the narrative or whatever, but I'm just like, come on, man, come on. That's just too much, way too much, man. And they're saying we can. That's what they're saying. We can feed the people now, but in the future we might not be able to. Well, we wait. I'm not saying not plan for 20 and 30 years down the road, but you can't fearmonger people right now. Okay, faithful sister, y'all, lab food. These, what you say? To lab grown food, these folks are sickening. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Shout out to Calvin Andrus. Shout out to Cam 2 Player. Shout out to Yvette Rivera. Shout out to faithful sister Ya Angela Bowden. Ruhama, blessings to you. I'm Tris. Hopefully I ain't forgetting nobody. Salama family. You love Yah. Blessings to you. Blessings to y'all for coming in. Nicole Marie, shalom. Blessings to you. All right. 1619 Brood. Blessings to you. Frankenfood. This will finish people off. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it would do more harm than good. But I think what happens is you have to get rid of the all alternatives, or demonize alternatives, or make alternatives scarce. So to say, oh, ain't no more crops. Come on, you got to eat our food, whatever. Or first of all, ain't no more crops. You need to get your credit, your social credit score up by getting be up to date on your jabs, right? And get everything together. Then you can come get in line and get some of this lab created food. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get your social credit score up. Those who don't know, they're working on a social credit score right now. It's like a credit score, but it's a social credit score. So when you participate and do different things, you'll be able to participate in the norms of society, right? But if you refuse to take jabs and different things that they line it up, then they be like, your credit score will go down, so you won't be able to, I don't know, aboard boats and get on planes and go to certain malls and go to certain events. You will be penalized. I should say it like that. You will be penalized because your social credit score is not up. And they already started doing UBI. I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory show. It's not. Look up all of this stuff, fair use. They're doing UBI, Universal Basic Income, right? We're already going cashless. Starting October 1st of this year, Starbucks is like, if you ain't got, we're not taking cash. You got to have some form of card, and more going to follow, right? So John 10:10, the Most High said, the enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy. But Yahushua said, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly. Let's see what she said right here. Lab food reminds me of the movie Soylent Green, which was about fake food made in 73. And it was about the year 2022. Get out of town. Don't have me go look this movie up. Soylent Green, which was made in 1973, about the year 2022. Get out of town. Yes, they're doing the social credit score. Oh, human meat. Wasn't it human meat? Oh, I don't know nothing about the human meat. I thought you were talking about the social credit score. Are they doing that in China? Yeah, they're doing the social credit score right now in China, right? And I thought China was majority Hindu and Buddhist, but there's a lot of atheism going on in China and stuff like that. And they got hit up with a drought. Not to go into the next show I'm going on. They going into it. They got hit up with a bad drought. 66 rivers dried up, man. They getting hit up real bad, and so they're trying to shoot these different chemicals into their clouds so they can force rain, right? I thought they had the HAARP project, but maybe they don't have a HAARP project. But HAARP project, for those who don't know, HAARP is be able to control the weather, create storms or different things like that. So I thought they had that. Maybe they don't. China's are living in caves due to the heat. Right. I seen that, Ruhama. China, people in China are living in caves due to the heat because it's cooler the further you go into underground. Yeah, it's crazy. And they had floods over North Korea. They said they haven't seen floods like that in 115 years. They haven't seen floods like that. So it's crazy. And we already know what's going on. We continue to pray for the people in Mississippi. Man, Jackson, Mississippi, the state capital, got hit up. And I seen a little video last night about that. I don't want to make this into another show, but I seen a video about how it became segregated. The state capital of Jackson became segregated, and then they moved to a lot of white people moved into a little town on the outskirts of Jackson, but not actually in Jackson. They say Jackson is 80% so-called African American, and so they real slow on the draw to passing bills and getting pipes fixed and different things like that. Now they say the infrastructure down in Mississippi will cost $20 million, and they got this crime proposal that's $100 million, right? That's gonna lock folk up. I'm saying, look, take 80 million and do your crime bill thing that you're trying to do, and take 20 million and get Mississippi straight, right? They gonna have pressure. They can't flush the water. It's bagging up. You know what I mean? They have bottled water. They running out of bottled water. How are you running out of bottled water? We got states to the left and to the right of them. They should be driving in trucks nonstop. And so that's a sad thing. We praying for Mississippi. They can't even get them $20 million to get they pipes together, but they can send Ukraine. Well, I ain't gonna say Ukraine, but sending them all kinds of everything over there, weapons and everything, rugs, hugs, man, everything, thugs, slugs, weapons, sending everything over there. You can't even take care of your own folk right here in the United States of America. I tell you, man, they play cray-cray. They're trying to rewrite the Bible or write their own. I'm not sure. I'll check on that. I'm not sure if they did that or not. Please remember Yolanda Howe in your prayer. She lives in that area and was speaking with her earlier. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be praying for Sister Yolanda Howard, definitely. China just had a big earthquake. I didn't know that they got hit up like that. They getting hit up real bad. So they had a blackout too, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And people don't believe in the 400 year and got to debate and debunk and come up together and conspire. But like I said, ever since 2019, it's been on and popping. I will look up that movie though. Oh, great to see that movie. Charlton Heston was a lead actor. You have got to see that. Charlton Heston was Moses and the lead actor in that too, huh? I got to check that movie out. Yeah, I definitely got to check that movie out. They probably have it on YouTube or something. But that's real crazy. Real crazy, man. Soylent Green, she said, came out of 73. Soylent Green. I'm going to check that out sometime this week. Yeah, man. I don't know about the lab food, but I think that's very terrible to tell people to destroy the crops. People say that's not true. That's a conspiracy theory. But I got this. I'm gonna show this little video from this guy. He was a farmer, and I wasn't gonna show it, but it's not that long. I'm gonna show it real quick. Rancher, and it's not a fear mongering tactic, but just check it out. Some of y'all might have seen it already. It's only 4 minutes.
You from the headwaters of Bitter Creek, Archer County, North Texas. We have to talk. State officials will be assisting to help identify potential alternative markets if a producer is unable to move animals, and if necessary, advise and assist on depopulation and disposal methods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are plowing under vegetable crops from coast to coast. We are euthanizing millions of chickens. We are aborting sows and burying feeder pigs. We are dumping milk by the hundreds of thousands of gallons. And now they are preparing us to depopulate the fat cattle ready to harvest because of a bottleneck created by the effects of COVID. This thing hasn't been created by COVID, but the effects of COVID and the logistics therein. We are in trouble. Our food supply is in trouble, and I am appealing to producers and consumers across the nation to start calling. Yesterday, the first shipment of imported beef from the country of Namibia hit the shores of the United States of America. And yet this morning, they are telling us to prepare to euthanize harvest-ready cattle. Am I the only one that sees a problem in this? It is time we get the American people back to work. It is time we get money flowing. It is time we get food on the shelves. Because if you're not concerned about this food supply problem, you better be. We have a huge supply and demand of food across this nation. We can feed the world ourselves, and yet we're destroying our harvests. At the same time, we are importing beef from other countries, beef that is less regulated than our beef, less safe, not as high quality of product, and yet it's happening. At the same time, they are preparing for us to euthanize our harvests. Does that make sense to America? For the last 10 years, we have been pressed to be sustainable. I've said all along, sustainability is a fraud. And right now, we're being forced to destroy our harvests. That doesn't sound like sustainability to me. It is time we get back to work. It is time the American people force the government to listen to us. We are of, by, and for the people. This is not Nancy Pelosi's country. This is not Donald Trump's country. This is your country, and you're going to go hungry. We must get regional and local.
That's wild. That's wild. Now that was a little bit after C-19, but that video was just as a short reminder of the things that's going on. Euthanize. I had to look up euthanize. Euthanize, to put to death humanely. So I guess, put them, euthanize, to put them to sleep. That's what I used to call it. But euthanize, to put to death. So you're getting beef from another country and then put them to sleep. Just leave them over there. People crazy, man. Fair use. This video is for educational purpose. If they take this show down, I will put it on my other platform. But anyway, he said something very interesting. He said we can feed the world by ourselves. Like America, this country, this continent, can feed the world by themselves. That's to let you know the growing power, the technology, the land, all of that. Euthanizing chickens and killing animals and strange food plant fires, and it's just wild. So we're gonna keep. This is not a conspiracy theory show. This is not a fear show. This show is to put us on game so we can focus on the Most High. China brought up 1,000 acres in North Dakota. Wow, I didn't know that. I know China brought up hundreds of acres in North Dakota. I know that Bill did. Bill Gates bought up a lot. You know what I mean? So if he bought a whole bunch of acres. A whole bunch of acres. So you might be thinking, okay, well, he can feed it. He can feed people. Or he can say, look, I buy these acres of food, this acres of land, and we ain't growing nothing on it. Or we put some GMO, genetically modified, or we destroy everything on there. So everybody can come do this a lab-grown food, right? It narrows it down, too. because everybody's not going to have a lab. So where's the money going to? Not to the farmers, not to the gardeners, the urban farmers and gardeners, right? And you come up with a regulation to say, you know what? All y'all stuff is illegal. You got to come to us what you're going to eat, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. So I think that's what it is. When you can't tax it or regulate it financially, then you can come up with a bill, make it illegal and all that good stuff, right? So very, very interesting, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. Share this show. Lab-grown people. Yeah, man, lab-grown people. So the different things, it's like an experiment sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my, my people who was raised in the hood and raised in the projects. It was literally a project. You feel what I'm saying? And they had asbestos in the cabinet. And then it came in, where I was at, and it was like, oh, we got to clear all the cabinets out, the kitchen cabinets out. We're like, what's going on? Oh, there's asbestos in here. Like, dang, man, we've been in here for 10, 15 years, and now y'all ready to come pull this crap out. And then it's like, oh, y'all got to move. What happened? We found lead in the soil. I'm like, man, we've been in the park, digging in the dirt, playing on the swings and the slides, and now y'all saying this soil is. So I'm like, man, this place is crazy, man. So I just be thinking we be lab rats sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, but my Yah shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory in Yahushua HaMashiach. So, it's not by might or by power, but it's by his Ruach. And no weapon that is formed against you, say this after me, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. It may form, but it won't prosper. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Keep saying that. No weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. It may form, but it won't prosper. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Yes, sir. Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown man conversation dealing with elephants in the room. I'm hungry now. I'm going to give me some, there ain't going to be no lab food. I am out of here. I'm going to start a Patreon. Just a $5 holler Patreon, to take, and then I'm going to put all the documents on there, all of my PDFs, all of my everything on there, and everybody have access to it. So shalom, blessings to y'all, fair use. Oh yeah, I'm going to put it on the screen. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Yes, say that. It may form, but it won't prosper. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation dealing with elephants in the room. I am out of here. Perfect.